Are you squandering the thing that makes you dangerous? Men are taught to chase status, sex, noise, while the true currency slips away, concentrated, unspent psychic energy. Drawing on Jung's archetypes, Machiavellian restraint, and Nietzsche's will, this film reveals the hidden rituals high-value men use to store, refine, and direct that force. You will learn how to stop leaking vitality, how to hide your power in plain sight, and how to spend it only where it multiplies. Promise. By the end, you'll have 5 simple rituals you can use tonight to begin storing energy like a fortress. Close the door. Save that small private economy of attention before the world robs it blind. The first ritual of power is not a spectacle. It is secrecy. It is the simple, deliberate act of refusing the immediate. You will learn to put distance between yourself and the noise. You will learn to turn every small impulse into an asset. Jung taught that psychic energy is finite. Treat it like currency. Every glance you give, every like you hand over, every casual confession. These are withdrawals. The vault is the place where you stop the bleeding. Imagine a vault carved from stone at the heart of an old fortress. No windows, no street lamps, only a single slit for a candle. That candle is not for warmth, it is for measurement. Each time you permit a distraction, the flame moves closer to the wick. Each time you withhold, you return a coin to the chest. Your life will not become mysterious because you perform grand gestures. It becomes mysterious because you learn to be absent where the crowd expects attendance. Begin. Sit. Breathe out slowly. Count the exhale. 1, 2, 3. Let the breath collect like coins in your palm. Do this for 5 minutes now. Do not read another line until you have done it. Good. That first small withdrawal, your attention held, already shifts your nervous system by degrees. It is tiny, but tiny accumulations decide fates. The vault is built from such insists, repetition without applause. This chapter teaches you how to make the act of withholding into a daily ritual, how to bind your impulses to a system, and how to turn the ordinary into a defense. Rule 1. Measure before you spend. Rule 2. Make absence visible only to yourself. Rule 3. Invest one small withheld impulse every day. These are simple rules. They are meant to be obeyed. Why does withholding work? Because power lives in contrast. A man who is everywhere is worth nothing. A man who is sometimes nowhere becomes magnetic. The psychology is straightforward and ancient. Scarcity sharpens value. Machiavelli understood impression, Jung understood economy, but neither recommended ostentation. The secret is quiet calculus. You will meet an antagonist inside this practice. It is not the bar across the street, nor the boss who rings at midnight. It is the inner servant, the voice that insists you must prove you are alive, that you must respond, that silence equals rejection. The inner servant is a coward that demands constant reassurance. It feeds on immediacy. It will whisper that withholding is aloofness, that scarcity is selfishness. It will show you comments and messages and the warm glow of other people's attention as proof of life. Do not listen. Identify the servant. Name it if you must. Give it a small corner to exist, but do not sign its paycheck. When you feel the tug, the reflex to post, to answer, to explain, say aloud, "Not now." Make the refusal a ritual. The inner servant will howl. Let it. Howls exhaust themselves quickly when they are not rewarded. Silence is an anesthetic. Silence is a shield. Here is the primary ritual of the vault, precise and unromantic. Practice it tonight. Choose a 30-minute block. Turn off your phone. Place it in another room. If you must, put it in a drawer and close the drawer with your hand. Close the door to whatever is next to you. Sit. Light a candle. Watch the flame. Count your exhale. When the urge to check your phone rises, label it urge and place it into an imaginary chest at your feet. Name the urge once. Let it sit. Do not speak to it. At the end of 30 minutes, retrieve it. Decide whether to spend or to return it. Make a ledger. On a small card, write 3 things you withheld today. 1 comment not made, 1 like not given, 1 message not answered. Fold the card and keep it in your wallet. Each time you check it, whisper, "I kept it." This is absurd, and it is powerful. Rituals are not true because they are logical. They are true because they mark the mind. These two practices, physical withdrawal and symbolic accounting, change the wiring of your desire. They create friction where before there was only reflex. They force intention. Expect resistance. The inner servant will escalate. It will produce images, someone else getting what you wanted, your absence being misread, your silence being the final failure. Hold your ground. The mind is a gossip. It lies. Your attention is a ledger. It does not forgive waste. Micro pause. Close your eyes. Listen to the silence between your breaths. That silence is the vault's air. It is where energy accumulates. Notice how after even a few minutes, a small clarity arrives. The words that seemed urgent before now seem frivolous. The impulses that once felt monstrous now look like children pounding a door. This moment is your instruction. There are 3 micro rules to anchor the practice. Micro rule A, the 5 exhale rule. Before any impulsive response, message, like, share, complaint, breathe 5 full exhalations. If the impulse survives the 5 exhalations, consider the action. If it dissolves, do nothing. Micro rule B, the 1 object lock. Choose 1 personal object, a ring, a notebook, a small stone, and only touch it when you are deliberately depositing energy. When you pick it up, perform a short ritual. Press it to your chest, exhale once, then put it back. This object becomes a tactile ledger. It trains your body to recognize the act of conserving. Micro rule C, the night deposit. Each night before sleep, spend 30 seconds enumerating what you withheld that day. Do this aloud. It does 3 things. It reinforces the habit. It consolidates the energy. It trains your memory to value abstention. These micro rules are not cumbersome. They are surgical. You must also learn to cut. Not every tie is worth the cost. A vault requires walls. Walls are built with cuts. A cut is a refusal that lasts. Example, stop answering the colleague who always sends non-essential crises at 11:37 p.m. Cut without drama. Do not explain. The more dramatic the justification, the more you leak. The cut must be simple and absolute, like a blade through rope. Imagine a man who attends every call, apologizes for every silence, and seeks validation through constant availability. He is a lantern whose light the crowd keeps for itself. He will tire. He will burn down. Do not be that man. Better to be a small, stubborn coal that lasts for winters than a bonfire that feeds everyone and leaves you cold. History offers a map. Jung wrote about the dynamics of psychic economy, the way energy flows between conscious intention and unconscious appetite. He described the danger of dispersal, of a life where libido is spent on the trivial. Think of your attention as libido. Conserve it. Direct it. Machiavelli taught the art of impression, how presence is crafted by restraint. Use both. Depth psychology gives you the understanding. Strategy gives you the method. Now, some practical scenes. Scene 1. The coffee shop ledger. You are at a cafe. A stranger smiles. Your hand reaches for your phone to capture the moment, to transform it into content. Stop. Breathe 5 exhalations. Write nothing. Look at the cup. Taste the coffee. Count the warmth. The moment will not be taken from you by silence. In most cases, it will be deepened. Scene 2. The social feast. You are in a room full of noise. People pull at you. Conversations demand commentary. Instead of speaking to be seen, listen. Decide on a single contribution for the evening. When the time comes, stand, say what is necessary, then return to quiet. The scarcity of your voice will become its amplification. People do not remember the man who spoke many times. They remember the man who spoke once and carved meaning. Scene 3. The private ritual. Each morning before emails, perform a 30-minute deposit. Light a candle. Write 3 lines of intention. Breathe with the 5 exhale rule between each line. Close the drawer. Do not read your messages. This is not avoidance. This is sacred bookkeeping. The psychological antagonist will try to shame you for these practices. Social scripts are persuasive. You are missing out is the chorus of the inner servant and the external crowd combined. This chorus uses fear as currency. Fear makes you spend. Fear convinces you scarcity is bad. But remember, scarcity is a tool if you wield it. The point is not to be stingy with life, but to be surgical in your distribution. Pause. Feel the small tightness behind the sternum, the one that equates silence with loneliness. Breathe through it. Let it pass. If it persists, write a sentence to it. I will return when I choose. Fold the sentence and keep it with your night deposit. This act, small and private, marks the boundary. It tells the mind that you are sovereign over your time. Another micro-order: create a no-announce window of 3 hours each day. During this window, you will not reply to non-essential communications. Announce it once to those who must know. Then keep the window holy. The world blinks. People survive. You strengthen. Do not confuse frugality with cowardice. A man who hoards attention and never spends it is sterile. There is an art to expenditure that we will cover in later chapters. For now, learn containment. Learn the muscle of not indulging every present. Within the vault there will be echoes, memories, resentments, flashes of desire. Treat them like currency being counted. Sometimes you will open the chest and find debris, old grievances, attention spent on anger. Clean them. Ritualize disposal. Write an unsparing line about the waste, fold the paper and burn it, or lock it in a box. This performs psychological bookkeeping. The act of disposal preserves the integrity of the vault. 2 more micro-rules, explicit and non-negotiable. Micro-rule D, the one-question test. Before you respond to any social demand, ask, will this action create future leverage? If the answer is no, do not act. Micro-rule E, the 72-hour deposit for big emotions. For decisions motivated by anger, lust, or pride, wait 72 hours, then revisit with the 5 exhale rule. Most catastrophes are prevented by this delay. You are not training yourself to be indifferent. You are training yourself to be deliberate. That distinction matters. Indifference is brittle. Deliberation is iron. End with a ritual. Tonight, before sleep, sit with the candle again. Hold your ledger card. Speak aloud 3 things you refused during the day. Say them like a vow. Keep the card beside your bed. In the morning, touch it and do not speak to strangers until you have made one intentional deposit into your day. One last image. Picture the vault door, heavy, unadorned. There is a slit, small, precise, through which one may choose to give light. You control that slit. The crowd will judge you for closing it. Let them. They cannot reach inside without your permission. Their judgment is noise. Your restraint is an instrument. A man who keeps his flame hidden never becomes a bonfire the crowd can control. Time is the currency you spill without noticing. Every glance, every distraction, every small indulgence. They appear insignificant, but together they drain the reservoir you built in your vault. Energy without control of time is a leaking cistern. The second ritual is arithmetic, counting, delaying, recording. You must treat every moment like coin, not metaphorically, literally. Pause here. Look at the clock. Count 10 slow seconds. That was 10 coins you will never hold again. Did you invest them or waste them? Men collapse because they treat time as infinite. They burn hours like dry wood, never realizing each spark feeds the bonfire of others. Jung wrote that psychic energy is like water. Where attention flows, there life follows. But water wasted into the ground does not nourish, it drowns. So you will learn to account for time as a merchant accounts for silver. This is not productivity. This is sovereignty. The first practice is the 24-hour delay. Nothing in your life truly requires you in seconds. If it does, it is rarely noble. It is often someone else's urgency disguised as duty. A woman demands a reply. A colleague pushes panic into your inbox. The inner servant hisses, if you wait, they will forget you. Good. Let them forget. The men remembered are those who move slowly, who deliberate, who choose their entrances. Julius Caesar once delayed decisions until the timing was his. He understood that hesitation, when visible, becomes gravity. Do it now. Choose one thing you crave, a message you wish to send, an indulgence, a purchase. Lock it behind 24 hours. Write it down on a card, fold the card, put it away. The act of waiting does 2 things. It turns desire into object and it teaches your body that impulse is not master. Tomorrow, you may decide again with clarity. The second practice is counting. Count not in hours, but in moments. You have roughly 86,400 seconds each day. Imagine them as coins spilled on a table. Every task is a hand sweeping away piles. Social media, 1,500 coins gone. Idle chatter, 800. A half hour of intentional silence. That's 1,500 coins placed in your private vault, polished, useful. Counting shrinks delusion. It makes the invisible visible. Here is a micro rule, the ledger of 3. Each evening mark down 3 deposits of time and 3 wastes. Not 5, not 10. 3. Keep it surgical. The act of writing forces clarity. You will see patterns. Some men discover they spend more coins complaining than conquering. Seeing the waste burns it. Micropause. Breathe. Stretch your fingers. Imagine black sand dripping through an hourglass into your palm. You can almost feel the weight. Each grain is a second. Try to hold them. You cannot. You can only decide where they fall. The antagonist here is society itself. A world trained to devour your time without guilt. Notifications, news, performative obligations. Every system around you is designed to turn your minutes into profit for someone else. You are livestock in their clock. Refuse. By counting, you cut the chain. You stop grazing. You become untamed. There is also a practice of delayed speech. In conversation, wait 3 breaths before responding. This simple hesitation creates a field of gravity. Others lean forward. They reveal themselves. They expose their hunger to fill silence. Your pause becomes dominance. The less you say, the more the room values the words you eventually release. Historical aside, Machiavelli noted that rulers gain aura not by endless action, but by orchestrated restraint. Presence is calculated absence, moments delayed, words counted. An emperor's silence weighs heavier than another man's speech. You must borrow that technique. Concrete ritual. Carry a small coin in your pocket. Each time you resist an impulse, speaking too fast, checking your phone, answering immediately, rub the coin once. At day's end, count the rubs. That is your tally of power withheld. This tactile practice keeps your arithmetic alive in the flesh. 3 more micro rules. Rule of 7s. For every indulgence, wait 7 minutes. If the urge remains, consider it. If it fades, cross it off your ledger. Rule of return. Each week reclaim 2 wasted hours. Identify where they leaked. Replace them with silence, training, or solitude. Rule of the edge. Once a day, end a task before it feels finished. Store the tension. This incomplete edge becomes motivation to return with fire, not fatigue. Now consider imagery. A man who answers instantly is like a beggar throwing coins into the street. The crowd laughs and takes them. A man who delays is like a banker who closes his doors at noon. People whisper. They wonder. Scarcity breeds value. You will feel shame when first practicing this. Friends will accuse you of being distant. Colleagues will call you slow. Women will press you with urgency. Resist. Scarcity is painful at first, but soon they will circle you, not because you give, but because you do not. Here is the ritual for tonight. Before you sleep, take 1 desire, small, tempting, foolish. Write it on paper, fold it, put it under your pillow. In the morning, read it. Decide anew. Each day you do this, the servant loses authority. Each day you do this, your vault gains coin. Never forget, the man who counts his moments hoards an invisible currency. He buys presence with silence. He buys charisma with waiting. He buys respect with delay. Count your moments like coins, hoard 3. Every man carries a double. You see him when rage flashes in your eyes. You feel him when lust burns your stomach. You hear him when envy poisons your thoughts. This double, this shadow is not weakness. It is energy unclaimed. Left untended, it leaks. Harnessed, it fuels. Jung insisted, the shadow, once integrated, becomes a reservoir of vitality. Ignore it, and it devours you in silence. The third ritual is transmutation, turning darkness into currency. Imagine a black river running beneath your ribs. Most men build dams of denial. They block the current with excuses, religion, routine. But the river does not die. It swells, it corrodes, it bursts. Outward as rage, inward as sickness. You must stop damming it and instead build channels. The shadow bank is this channel, a vault that does not reject darkness but converts it into usable force. Pause. Think of your last outburst. Who truly controlled that moment? You or the servant whispering that anger equals life? The shadow bank exists to break that slavery. Begin with the first practice, naming. Each time an emotion claws at you, lust, jealousy, fury, give it a name as you would a debtor. This is envy. This is wrath. Do not say, I am angry, say, anger has entered. This small linguistic cut separates you from the flood. It gives you distance. The named impulse becomes an asset to be recorded, not a master to obey. Then comes confession, not public, not to friends, to the page. Each night, write a single ruthless paragraph describing the impulse. Strip it bare. Write, today I wanted to strike him. Today I wanted to betray her. Today I wished destruction. Do not hide. Paper has no morality. This is not therapy, it is accounting. Every paragraph is a deposit. Burn the page or lock it away. Ritual disposal transforms shame into record. The fire or the lock is the vault. The antagonist here is the moral mask. Society whispers, do not think such thoughts, do not feel such urges. They mean you are broken. Lies. These impulses are not corruption, they are potential. A lion chained is not a lamb, it is wasted ferocity. The mask convinces men to disown themselves, to leak strength pretending to be pure. Those who repress most violently are consumed most swiftly. Micro-rule, the lantern practice. When wrath arises, imagine pouring the black liquid into a lantern at your feet. See it ignite into golden flame. Each time you do this, you train your nervous system to experience transmutation instead of repression. Do it until the image feels natural. Imagination is not fantasy. It is rehearsal for the psyche. Historical aside. Nietzsche taught that man's task is not to kill instinct, but to sublimate it, raise it to higher form. The artist sublimates lust into creation. The warrior sublimates rage into strategy. The ruler sublimates envy into ambition. Denial is death. Transformation is mastery. Concrete ritual. At week's end, choose one dark impulse you recorded. Transform it into action. If it was lust, channel it into a night of creation. Write, paint, train. If it was rage, channel it into a ruthless decision. Cut a tie, refuse an obligation. If it was envy, channel it into improvement, one concrete step that moves you closer to the object envied. This is not catharsis. This is banking. 3 micro-rules to anchor the shadow bank. Rule of capture. No impulse passes unnamed. Label it within 3 breaths. Rule of ledger. 1 paragraph each night, written with merciless honesty. Rule of exchange. Once a week, choose 1 impulse and redirect it into a tangible act. Micro-pause. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself holding a burning lantern. Inside, black smoke swirls, but the glass glows with steady gold. This is you if you obey the rules. Understand, the shadow will test you. It wants chaos. It wants to burst unchecked. It wants destruction, because destruction feels alive. But if you master the banking, destruction becomes creation. The same fire that raises villages also forges steel. Which will you choose? Example, you feel the surge to insult, to cut with words. Stop. Name it. Write it. Tomorrow, take that same ferocity and cut a habit instead. Insult your own weakness. Attack your own cowardice. Turn the blade inward where it belongs. Example, you feel lust for someone forbidden. Stop. Name it. Confess it. Tomorrow, direct that hunger into building your body, into refining your work. The body cannot tell the difference between sexual energy and disciplined output. It only knows intensity. Example, you feel envy of a rival. Stop. Name it. Write it. Tomorrow, perform 1 act that brings you closer to surpassing him. Envy is not poison. It is compass. The shadow bank is inexhaustible because darkness is inexhaustible. You will never run dry of impulses. You will never arrive at purity. Good. That means you will never run out of fuel. But mark this warning. Do not hoard without release. A vault that only takes becomes toxic. You must exchange weekly or rot. Too many men build walls but never channels. They suffocate in their own repression. You are not here to be sterile. You are here to be dangerous with direction. End this night with ritual. Write one unsparing line to your shadow. Lock it or burn it. Whisper, "You are mine." Then sleep. Feed the shadow into a lantern. Its smoke becomes light. Silence terrifies the crowd. They cannot bear the absence of noise because in silence their masks crack. That is why society trains you to answer instantly, to post daily, to explain yourself endlessly. It is not communication, it is control. If you are always available, you are never sovereign. The fourth ritual is architecture, building external walls that protect the vault you have constructed within. Picture a fortress carved into the cliffs. Wind lashes the stone, waves batter the base, yet inside stillness. No one enters without invitation. No one peers through shuttered windows. The fortress is not loud. It does not advertise its strength. It intimidates by refusal. That is what you must build in your life, a structure of absence. Begin with the ritual of withdrawal. Once a day, leave a room or a conversation without announcing it. Do not excuse yourself. Do not explain. Simply vanish. This trains the world to accept your absence as natural. At first, they will talk. Where did he go? Later, they will learn. Your movements are your own. This ritual is small, but its impact is seismic. Pause. Feel your instinct recoil. The servant inside whispers, "They will think you are rude. They will resent you." Good. Let them. Resentment is respect's ugly twin. Both grow from the same soil, recognition that you are not theirs. Now practice the silence window. 3 hours each day in which you do not respond. No messages, no explanations, no digital presence. The silence becomes sacred. People will adapt. They always adapt. But while they wait, you sharpen. Jung observed that personality consolidates in solitude. Without silence, you scatter. With silence, you become fortress. The antagonist here is the social parasite, the collective voice that demands, "Be present, be available, share yourself with us." But parasites cannot feed when the host refuses. Your fortress starves them. They will rage, guilt, even mock. Ignore it. Their noise is proof of your withdrawal's power. Micro-rule, the sacred room. Designate one physical space where no one may intrude. A corner, a desk, even a chair. When you sit there, you belong to yourself alone. No conversations, no interruptions, no explanations. Over time, this room will pulse with invisible power. Step into it and your mind knows, here the world cannot touch me. Historical aside, Nietzsche often walked alone for hours in the mountains, refusing company. His silence was not emptiness, it was forge. In that quiet, he built thoughts like weapons. Do the same, walk alone, sit alone. Defend it with cruelty if necessary. Weak men apologize for their solitude. Strong men enforce it. Concrete ritual. Tomorrow, say no to one invitation without explaining. Do not decorate your refusal with excuses. Simply, no. Silence after. That single act builds a wall more solid than concrete. You will shake inside when you do it. That trembling is proof the fortress is rising. 3 micro-rules of the fortress. Rule of vanishing. Leave one interaction daily without notice. Rule of silence. Window. Hold 3 hours untouchable each day. Rule of sacred room. Keep one space wholly yours, inviolable. Micro-pause. Close your eyes. Hear the sound of wind against a closed iron gate. You are inside. No one enters. The world scratches at the door. You do not move. That sound, the scraping of claws outside, is proof of your strength. Do not mistake this for isolation. The fortress is not prison, it is perimeter. From behind its walls you decide when to emerge, where to spend, how to appear. Without it, you are a hut with open doors. Any passerby can walk in, rearrange your furniture, drain your reserves. Examples. A man who never refuses invitations becomes background noise. His presence is diluted, forgettable. A man who refuses 9 and accepts 1 becomes legend. People whisper when he arrives. His fortress makes every appearance rare and therefore heavy. A man who answers every call is treated as tool. A man who ignores most calls is treated as choice. Scarcity breeds authority. A man who shares every thought becomes predictable. A man who guards his silence becomes unreadable, therefore magnetic. Understand, the fortress is not built in days. Each refusal, each silence, each vanished step lays 1 stone. Over weeks, people adapt. Over months, they expect it. Over years, they fear it. That fear is respect. Tonight, test this. Set your phone aside for 3 hours. Tell no one, disappear. Let the world panic. When you return, nothing will be lost, except your weakness. Build 1 room nobody enters. What use is a vault that never opens? What value has gold if it never buys? Stored energy without release becomes rot, a stagnant reservoir that suffocates the man who hoarded it. The final ritual is not restraint, it is return. A precise, deliberate release that multiplies the stored force instead of squandering it. To master this ritual is to master presence itself. Picture a bow held under tension. For days, weeks, you have refused distraction. You have delayed. You have banked shadow into lanterns. You have built walls of silence. The string is drawn tight. Energy trembles, waiting. But if you never release, the bow snaps. If you release carelessly, the arrow misses. The ritual of return is the art of drawing, aiming, and firing with surgical precision. Pause. Think of the last time you wasted your energy in a flood, an argument that achieved nothing, a night of indulgence that left you hollow. That was uncontrolled burn. Contrast it with the moments you held back, prepared and struck once decisively. That is controlled fire. One burns you out, the other builds your legend. The first practice is the singular focus. Choose 1 action, only 1, into which you will pour your reserves. A conversation that alters a relationship, a decision that shifts your trajectory, a creative act that leaves a mark. All the coins you have counted, all the shadows you have banked, all the silences you have endured, direct them into this 1 arrow. 30 minutes, undistracted, is worth more than 30 hours scattered. Concrete ritual. Tomorrow, set aside half an hour. Remove all devices, close the door, set a candle. Speak aloud. This is my release. Then pour everything into 1 act. Write, design, train, decide. At the end, blow out the candle. The flame was your energy transformed into action. The second practice is the chosen arena. Do not waste your release on trivial fields. The crowd wants your power spent on gossip, petty conflict, endless debate. Refuse. Save it for arenas that matter: creation, conquest, seduction, decision. Spend as kings spend, rarely visibly with force. The antagonist here is stagnation, the coward who mistakes restraint for virtue. He stores endlessly, never spending, until his fortress becomes a tomb. He fears release because release risks failure. But a man who never spends is not powerful. He is petrified. Power is only power when it acts. Micro-rule, the rule of the burn. When you choose to release, burn completely. No half-effort, no hesitation. Empty the vault into the act. This teaches your body to distinguish between wasting energy and wielding it. Historical aside, Nietzsche spoke of the will to power, the impulse not merely to exist but to expand, to impose form upon chaos. Energy hoarded is will denied. Energy released with precision is will fulfilled. Another ritual, the circle of return. After each deliberate release, sit in silence and recount what you spent. Ask, did this multiply? If yes, repeat. If no, cut. The circle prevents waste from becoming pattern. 3 micro-rules to engrave into memory. Rule of singularity, 1 release at a time, never scatter. Rule of arena, spend only where results reverberate. Rule of completion, burn fully, then return to silence. Micro-pause. Close your eyes. Imagine a dark hall filled with silent watchers. You walk to the center. In your hand, a lantern filled with the shadow you once feared. You lift it, shatter it, and the light floods the hall. Faces turn. The silence bends toward you. This is return. Examples. A man who stores energy and releases it all into one speech leaves a crowd breathless. A man who releases it in every conversation becomes background noise. A man who stores energy and releases it into one decision alters his destiny. A man who dithers in fragments lives unchanged. A man who stores energy and releases it into one night of passion imprints memory. A man who spends daily in crumbs is forgotten. Understand this. The ritual of return is rare because it is dangerous. It demands you stake everything at once. That is why it multiplies. The world recognizes the weight of total commitment. It cannot ignore it. End with command. Tonight, select one arrow. Prepare the bow. Tomorrow, release with precision. Then retreat again into silence. Spend intentionally. One focused burn will shift your week.